Hi, my name is Joanita Nandyowa. I am a 24-year-old living in Kampala, Uganda. I am passionate about making the world a better place or leaving the world a better place than I found it. I'm also a natural born leader. All my life I've taken up leadership positions. I don't just sit around and wait to be told what to do. I actually get up and do something. In 2019, I happened to land a job as a presenter on Uganda, a YouTube channel that looks at bridging the gap between Ugandans in the country and Ugandans in the diaspora, or foreigners who would like to come back to the motherland. Manager for Uganda, where I led a team of 10 videographers and 10 editors, handled projects of 10 million Uganda shillings, and did so much more. Reported back to my boss, introduced systems that would be put in place to make the YouTube channel more professional, because most times YouTube channels rarely have managers, but we wanted to professionalize the creative industry, and that was my job as a manager when I was at Kenya. In 2018, I was a data processing officer with NIRA, National Identity Registration Authority for Uganda. I also happened to do a fellowship with Michigan Fellows Agribusiness Initiative in collaboration with Makerere University, the biggest university in Uganda. I happened to do a fellowship with them and was teaching the youth on how to be more independent and self-reliant. I decided to apply for the fellowship because I felt like this was such a great opportunity for me to learn. I have volunteered in an NGO before. That was 40 Days, 40 Smiles. Even after my internship, I still kept on with them and did volunteer, and I still do go to some events that they hold. I also founded an NGO with my best friend called Kusima Girls Initiative, which teaches girls on how to make homemade towels. So I, for one, know the struggles that NGOs face firsthand. I looked at the website of ILE Strategies and I just knew I had to work with them. I had to join them and form a strategic partnership with them, because I knew that what they were doing aligned with what I was doing and trying to do. The project that we decided on is called the Ghetto Research Lab, an NGO based in Kampala, Uganda, which is a slum area, which technically also means the ghetto. A non-profit organization in Kampala that develops innovative ideas to improve the impoverished lives of the people in the ghetto. The Ghetto Research Lab project is important to me because as a non-profit organization, they do not just wait for handouts. They go out there, they form their ideas, and they do what they need to do so they can get ahead. That's why I like them. Most NGOs, no shade to them, with most NGOs, they're looking for handouts. They want to rely on someone. They want to be so dependent on someone. But with Ghetto Research Lab, he has all these brilliant ideas that he's implementing to make the lives of the people around him better. We decided to go with Aquaponics and the Bottle Brick project. Now, if you're in the ghetto, you know that poor sanitation is a big thing. Waste management is a big thing. The slogan for Ghetto Research Lab is "Waste is not waste if you waste it." Okay, so he uses these plastic bottles, fills them with polythene bags. These are two materials that would cause environmental degradation. He uses those two materials and he builds up a toilet which solves two problems: poor sanitation and poor waste management.
We constructed this toilet during the pandemic in 2020, and it contains 50,000 bottle bricks.
With aquaponics, poor nutrition is a big thing. There's so many malnourished children in the ghetto that are not eating the foods that are meant to help them grow, and this affects their performance in class. This affects how they look, and they don't get the proper child development that they would need to make sure they make it in life. So we looked at that and said, that is a project for me. The work that we did for Ghetto Research Lab with the help of Miss Anasa includes the following. During the first week, I had to curate a pitch deck for Patrick. Patrick Mujini is the proprietor of Ghetto Research Lab. I had to come up with a pitch deck. We had to see what was his mission, what was his vision, what were his goals, what was his theory of change, what was the cost structure like, where were his resources coming from, and so much more. After that, we also had to create the business model canvas so that Ghetto Research Lab as an organization can know what it has in order for it to go forward. Most times people don't know what they have. They don't know the resources they have, they don't know the cost structure, they don't know their partners, and so much more. And with these two, we actually got to know that Patrick didn't have any idea about that, so that was of great help to him. Mentioned earlier Ghetto Research Lab has 8 departments. They do so many things, and we had concentrated on 2. So we decided the first pitch deck that we're done and the first business model that we're done was only for the Aquaponics and the bottle brick project. So we decided, how about we Miss Anas and I decided, how about we continue and spread the pitch deck to also cover his 8 ideas, or to cover Ghetto Research Lab as a whole, you know. Why not do that? So during week 2, that's what we proceeded with. Week 1, we had just done for the 2 programs. So week 2, we had to cover Ghetto Research Lab as a whole. During week 2, I also had to attend trainings. Trainings operated by Ghetto Research Lab. I needed to observe and see what it is they're doing. How are they doing it? Are they hitting their goal? Are they hitting their targets? Is that something that they could do to make sure they achieve a certain objective that they had? You know, so after the trainings, I also had to create a survey and talk to the people who are being trained. Are they satisfied with it? Is there something they would like to change? Is there something they can, you know, they can offer to Ghetto Research Lab? Is there something Ghetto Research Lab can offer in order to make their lives more easy? We live in a world of social media right now. Ever since COVID hit, social media is what makes the world go. You need social media to be able to get to something or tell the people about what you're doing. So during week 3, our goal was to make as much noise as we could on social media, which could also expose the brand Ghetto Research Lab and also expose the brand ILE Strategies, and show the people what it is I was actually doing there and how I qualified for the fellowship, which was actually really nice because I got such positive responses to my social media posts. During the 3rd week, I also had to guide Patrick. So with Patrick, the Ghetto Research Lab, with the 8 departments, come with 8 department heads, which he calls ministers. So when I attended the meetings with Patrick, every time I went to his office, I could see that there was some sort of discord. I could see that there was a need to have a system in place for him to guide his ministers. So I brought that up to Miss Anasa, and she said, okay, now how can we help Patrick, you know, have goals for his ministers, have systems for his ministers? How is a problem handled? How is a conflict resolved? And whatnot. During the 3rd week, I also had to look at the people who inspire me so that I could align them with Joanita Maya. Like the people I look up to, how can I, as Joanita Maya, fit them in my schedule? And then I also did the business model U, which is a personal business model to help you see your resources, your partners, your cost structure, your income, revenue, and all. I've learned so many things from this fellowship. On a professional level, I also hadn't heard of a pitch deck. I hadn't heard of a business model, canvas, so many things that Miss Anasa will talk about. I'll note them down and look them up because I wasn't that exposed to that world. So I've learned so much in terms of that. I've learned so much in terms of being a professional, in terms of communication, and so much more. There's so many things that I didn't know an NGO needs to do in order for it to operate. So I learned all that on this fellowship. On a more personal level, I learned how to be a better communicator. I learned how to be a self-reliant individual. I've also formed important and strategic partnerships with ILE Strategies and Patrick from Ghetto Research Lab and his ministers. My vision for my future is to be an all-rounded, well-educated woman, financially independent, a woman that can be a voice for the voiceless, a woman that is a voice for the young girls coming after me. I'm so passionate about the young girls and what they're doing and their development. So the vision for my future is to see myself get into that field, speak up, mentor, and talk to the young girls. The vision for my nation as a whole is to have a community that is innovative and not dependent on outside parties. The youth, unfortunately, we've been born in a generation that's a bit entitled and expects things to be given to them. I have a vision for a community that is more self-reliant, that can come up with its own ideas, that can come up with its own things that they can do instead of waiting for handouts, so that whoever comes in to help them is finding them on their way and then just giving them a little push and not just sitting around and waiting for things to fall in their lap. Yes.
Hey guys, you can't believe when I met Joanne a few days back, life has changed at the Ghetto Research Lab, and me as a person, she's this kind of woman who changes everyone, the mindset, you know, the emotions.
Yeah.
She has made Ghetto Research a professional kind of organization, you know.
Yeah.